Danny wants to start a project, create an online business that teaches people how to play basketball. Then he wants to create videos, write blogs, develop his website, but somehow he finds it hard to stay on task. Notification here, notification there, and at the end of the day, he finds himself only using a fraction of the day finishing the tasks that he wanted to. Do you find yourself wasting the same amount of time as well? This is How to Be Laser Focused by Daniel Dipiazza. We're entering an era of technology and connectiveness. The power of the internet and social media had allowed us full access to information, content, and everything else in between. We're smothered with notifications, pop-ups, and texts. When was the last time you placed deep focus for a long period of time? Daniel's first suggestion in developing focus is by creating. It's good to be viewed as a muscle that you can work out. And the more you work it out and develop it, the easier to rely on it as well. And basically, as much as you want, willpower won't be enough to get you through to what you need to do. Focusing needs to be put into practice. In essence of creating comes principle number 1, to maximize the motivation wave for as long as possible. In a study by a Stanford professor, B.J. Fogg, motivation was seen to have peaks and valleys, highs and lows. It was extremely unlikely to have a high amount of motivation for prolonged periods, so the ideal adjustment was to place effort and timing accordingly. The study suggested that we should notice when our motivation is at its highest and place things that are difficult to do during those times. For example, Danny's a night owl and finds that he gets a huge surge of energy at night after his night tea. This is when he finds it easy to disconnect as everyone else is asleep, and he finds the silence of the night a great chance to think for himself. This is when he should schedule his most disliked activity of the project, which is to create the script needed for his material. Similarly, Daniel hates the mornings, and he often finds he skips out on tasks during this time. This is when he should schedule tasks that are monotonous and require very little effort. These are tasks such as replying to email inquiries or posting daily audience interactive material. Principle number 2, prioritize. Prioritizing is figuring out what to do first. With the bombardment of information and content, this becomes a little bit harder. So ask yourself, what criteria do you use to know what to spend your time on? It's important to realize that your day and life is not a soup of everything combined. Not everything you'll run into is as important as the other. So in business, the number 1 focus is to stay afloat and focus on what makes money. Activities such as how do you engage potential customers, doing cold calls, door-to-door sales or sending email, even creating referral networks that will lead you to people that may want your product. These are the difficult things to do. They make you feel uncomfortable, but their true essence is that they lead you to what you need in a business, money. So it's important for Danny to list out what he has to do for the day and figure out which he should do first. Let's take a look at this list. Should Danny contact other influencers to collaborate to increase his following, meet with his developer friend to create his website, or phone potential sponsors and partners that have reached out to him? With the concept of earning money being our number 1 criterion, this is how the list should be arranged. Danny will follow the most direct way to getting a sale or getting money, followed by an indirect way by gaining more followers. The idea behind prioritizing is asking yourself what a specific task will lead or generate. Constantly questioning whether you're putting important things first should become a habit. Another additional tip that can enhance your priority is shrinking your to-do list. From a psychological perspective, having 6 things to do where you're only able to fulfill 3 can be psychologically disempowering. It's important to set realistic tasks for the day than laying out all potential activities and only being able to do 50%. This will give you a different perspective wherein you'll feel more fulfilled by being able to complete 100% of your tasks. All in all, focus is getting harder. If you've got goals, you have to learn to stay away from things that distract you from finishing tasks. How much today did you spend on social media, videos, or even games? As a prerequisite for growth, we've got to learn to practice the muscle of focus and learn when we're most motivated. In a digital age, the ones who flourish are going to be the ones who are able to focus for longer and are able to work deeply on their craft. And thanks again for tuning in. This was a concept from Dan Dipiazza's book, Ditch Your Average Job, Start an Epic Business and Score the Life You Want. And yep, that's the actual book title. If you found it helpful or insightful, give me a like or subscribe. Thanks for listening.